One of the most liberating things that I've found that has helped me grow and build strength and muscle is approaching exercise from the vantage point of a skill. You're building skills, not just making yourself work hard. That whole, if I just work hard enough, I'm sure I'll build the muscle and build the results that I want. That doesn't work very well because hard work is very hard to scale. With the introduction of like convict conditioning, we have progressive calisthenics, and the whole idea is you want to be bigger, stronger, more capable, you have to improve your skills at doing this. And this is how everything works in every athletic endeavor. It doesn't matter if it's figure skating, juggling, chainsaws, tightrope walking, martial arts, or just playing a musical instrument. You want to get better and get better results, you must progress your skills. You can't just work harder and assume that your body's going to change. Now with progressive calisthenics, there's two different ways that people approach this, one of which I think is very limiting, the other one I think is much better. Okay, so think of it this way, okay? You have levels to ascend to, right? Like levels in a video game. This is like convict conditioning, we got our 10 levels, right? Lots of people use what I call the elevator approach. And so you're riding in an elevator, and like in an elevator, you're saying, I'm at level 4. I'm not at level 3, 2, or 1. I'm not at level 5. I only practice what's at level 1. Okay, so you only have the one step in convict conditioning. You have the one technique that you're working with. Then supposedly you get good enough at that and you ascend to another level. So now you're level 5 and you're not at 4, 3, 2, or 1, and so on. So it pigeonholes you in what you're doing and how you're doing it. This is not how I recommend you go, because in an elevator, you have a very limited perspective, right? You can only see what's at that one level. You're not experiencing things below you. You're not experiencing things above you. Here's how I approach it instead. Call it the sand pile method. Okay, sand pile method, if you ever just see a pile of anything naturally, in order to build higher, you have to create a wider base. So let's say you're at level 3, okay, and you've got this pyramid or this pile that's building up, so you have all of this covered, 1, 2, and some of 3, okay? So that means that not only are you on 3, but you're also on 2, you're also on 1. So if you wanted to like build this up with like buckets, you have to climb and put stuff on top each time you practice. Now I'm not saying you have to do level 1, level 2 all the time, but you do have to make these introductory levels a little bit of a part of it. So as you build this up, and let's say you get up to level 5, what ends up happening is you have a broader base. The only way that you can support a higher point of skill is if you've built up a broader base on the introductory steps, on the other steps. What the elevator method often makes us do is if we're like, okay, I'm just gonna start like convict condition, I'm gonna be at level 6, and we end up creating piles like this. You know, they've got all these weak points in there, like, oh, I can't really do narrow grip push-ups, but I'm sure that's okay, I can just skip that step. So you've got weak points in each level, and as a result, like with a pile, you lack stability and foundation. You don't get very high. This is why a lot of times when people do weightlifting, they ascend quicker, but they plateau faster because they're not thinking, how do I get better at squats? How do I get better at deadlifts or bench presses? They're just assuming if I just put more weight on the bar and force myself to work harder, I'll get stronger eventually. But when you don't have a strong foundation built up, then you get hurt, you get injured, you get plateaued, it's all not very good. So think sand pile. The beginning steps are still in your repertoire to some degree. Maybe you're using them as a warm-up. Maybe you're using them as drop sets. Maybe you're just using them because you feel stiff and you feel like doing some squats to loosen up your legs. I don't know. You can use them a million and one ways, but people at the high levels still use the lower levels to some degree because they know it still matters to strengthen up their foundation, which allows them to build up higher. Philosophical food for thought there, folks. Be fit, live free.